Yo camino con el pasado. No, 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 con nada. Yo camino con el pasado. No, 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 no tengo nombre. Who fucks? Is that guy from me? No, fussy did not remove me. Yo camino con el pasado. Camino con el doble pasado. Secure, so I could keep the Gucci on the iceberg. One thing my dad told me is flex on the hose if you when you feel insecure. One thing my dad told me is flex on the hose when you're insecure. One thing my mama told me is flex on the hose when you're insecure. So I keep my Gucci on the iceberg. One thing my mama told me, flex to the whole so they know, so they see you not insecure. So I keep Gucci on the iceberg. So one thing I need, yes, yes, but these friends are like game and mate. It'll be all. I keep a Gucci on the iceberg. All I keep Gucci on the iceberg. One thing my mama do tell me is that that she's proud. Ow, 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 whoopee, owie. And I keep making it burn. One thing makes a love and you're insecure. And I keep on, that's why I keep Gucci on it. And mom. Attention all players. You may fuck off this one time. You may fuck everyone this one time. And this one time only. This is DJ Carry out.
Feel free to practice as long as you like. Looks like you're the first one here. Use the People tab on your watch to invite your friends to join you. Feel free to practice as long as you like. Looks like you're the first one here. Use the People tab on your watch to invite your friends to join you. Feel free to practice as long as you like.
I keep watching eyes burn. One day, I'm insecure. No, I'm gonna do this one. It's a thank you. Satana, pui, 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 pui. Satana, pui. Ah. nigga. Nigga. Oh, nigga. Holy nigga shit. Jesus Christ, this shit loud. Fucking piece of shit. Oh yeah. The shit back to off. Like always in niggas. Fucking niggas. Watch. Fucking niggas. Okay, now what? Opa. Oh, so I suppose here.
To my dome, where my hands at? I don't fucking know. Who wants a drink of my famous tequila?
Yeah.
Got you, bro.
Where's Miguel?
It broke.
I'm here.
Am I invincible? Yeah.
Yes.
Shoot me,
You
shoot
can
me.
die now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not
Burn,
shooting only
burn.
bad guys. I'm
Guys,
only
I'm
shooting bad
invincible.
guys. No, this guy can't
We
die.
can't die. You can't die.
Neither
Yeah,
can you.
shoot me.
Why do all these cups keep exploding?
Bro, how can't you die? Jamie, Timmy, or one.
Hey, no!
Yeah, this,
How can you not
my
die?
friend taught me how.
How?
My friend taught me how to do it. You
Can you
wanna learn
teach
how
me?
to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to join this game. Friend me. I'll invite you. Friend me. Fr okay.
It tasted amazing.
Friend me.
So, yeah.
Or just friend me, okay?
Bro, how am I
Okay,
supposed
okay.
to? I'm gonna just press on you
Oh, why
and add
won't
you
you
like
friend
that.
me?
I'm gonna add you the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Add friend. Okay,
Okay.
I added you.
Back up!
I'm joining. I joined it. Join me.
Okay.
Rape!
Wait, add me.
Don't kill me! My drink!
Sorry.
Ghost? I'm a ghost. I'm Ghost Bobby. Of course I'm a ghost.
Yeah.
Now
So
what am
what
I?
you have to do is pass from this red line over and over. Like this. From the red line, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, do it more. Maybe it doesn't work. I don't know.
You sure?
Yeah. Okay. I think that's enough. So, join a game. And if you want to turn it off, just leave the game and join back. Okay?
Okay.
Let's join the same server.
That's what this does not work.
Fuck you, I quit.
Someone shoot me! Someone shoot me!
Ah!
Someone kill me! Someone kill me!
Who?
There goes Bogdy. Oh my god, it does not work! It does not work! The glitch does not work.
Hello! No! What's that? Oh.
Why'd you copy me? No! You copied me! Wait, sure, I can OP in this game. Okay!
Frick?
What did I do?
For Christ's sake.
What did I do? This is a good vlog, bro. I love this game.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
I'm
I shouldn't say
sorry.
that. Depends on
Yo,
the
can you
Why
check
you kill
my
me? Hey,
what?
not bad, not bad, not bad.
Ghost
Hey,
Rider Studio, that's me.
not bad, not bad.
My
Very good
dog.
song. Bro, you killed
A
me.
song.
Sorry.
What's your song called? Let me switch up right now.
This song is fire, dude.
Stop for 10 seconds,
I'm
goddammit.
everyone's fan. Oh, stop. I remember. Oh, bro. I'm your biggest fan.
Change your invincible.
Wait a minute, because I couldn't hear anything because of them. I'm just connected to the internet on my laptop and I'm going. YouTube channel. First is good. Which one? True Loaders or RZA Funk? RZA Funk or... Tell me which one? Which one? I just got subscribed with you. True Loaders. Let's hear it. You know this is basically not a song because the song is really. Let me see. Let me see. RZA Funk Gap Boy. Oh my god, 160 views. Come on.
सो हे गाइस कैसे आप सभी लोग आज की वीडियो में हम लोग खेलने जा रहे हैं ब्लॉक्स प्रो जो कि अभी बहुत क्रेज में है इसलिए मैं भी आ चुका हूँ खेलने मींस आप लोगों के सामने पहली बार मैं तो भाई से 3 महीना से गेम खेल रहा हूँ तो इस आज की वीडियो में हम लोग अपने पोर्टल फूड को मास्टर करने वाले हैं मैं खा लूंगा क्योंकि भाई मुझे पोर्टल फूड चाहिए और गाइस एक मेन बात गाइस वो इस वाले वीडियो में कुछ गिवअवे से
Shut the fuck up, you fucking dickhead, fam. That's not a language. I forgot my African mouse didn't work on this. They went too far. Story time, Tyler. Tally.
History teacher and Diddy have in common. Neither of them are allowed within 500 feet of a school. Now, we all know why Diddy ain't allowed near schools, so why is this the case for my teacher? Well, let me explain. So a couple of years ago, I had quite possibly the most unique teacher ever. What do I mean by that? Let's just say she was not afraid to speak her mind. Whatever she was thinking, she would say it. So if she thought you were dumb for not knowing the answer to a question, she'd let you know. I remember one time she was teaching, and the subject she taught was history, by the way. But anyways, during class, a kid raised his hand and asked how Christopher Columbus was able to make it to America if they didn't have planes back then. So she looked him in the eyes and said, Martin, how did you even make it to this grade? So she had no filter. She was always just a little different. On the very first day of school, we did icebreakers to get to to know each other. So every student had to say one fact about them to the whole class. But after we finished, she wanted to say one. And this was the moment I knew it was going to be a long year, because she stands up and starts to get emotional. My fun fact is that on April 1st, 1998, I'll never forget the date, because at first I thought she was saying an April Fool's joke, but she went, on April 1st, 1998, my husband of 13 years passed away. Well, that was kind of a buzzkill, but she literally just stopped there without saying anything else. So one kid decided to say what the whole class was thinking and goes, if you don't mind me asking, how did he pass away? And you could tell she was hoping someone was going to ask that. So she says, well, my husband was quite the daredevil, and one day he decided to go skydiving, which he had done plenty of times before, but this day was different, because when he tried pulling his parachute, it wouldn't open. Then, with tears literally falling down her face, she goes, and sadly, he fell all the way to the ground and passed away. Looks like I'm taking that off my bucket list. But obviously, this is super tragic, right? Not funny at all. But when she said this, me and a friend that was in this same class happened to make direct eye contact with each other. So I couldn't help but let out a little laugh. It wasn't because I thought her husband passing away was funny. Of course not. But when you and your homie make eye contact during an awkward situation in class, you have no other option. You're gonna laugh. So after I did, the teacher looks at me thinking I was laughing at her story, and she goes, Taylor, don't ever disrespect me like that again. Well, first of all, my name is Tyler, but that's not important right now. So after this interaction, she did not like me the whole school year. Any chance she had to get me in trouble, she took it. So it was no surprise that I ultimately was the one who got her fired. But how did this happen, you ask? Just kidding. I know no one was actually asking that. But I'm in my parents' closet, and no one's going to actually ask me the question. So I have to ask them to myself, okay? I wonder what my parents are thinking when they hear me in the closet just screaming to no one. I just know they're out there shaking their head right now thinking, our son's never going to get a girlfriend. Okay, back to the story, though. So how did I get my teacher fired? Well, when the school year first started, she told the whole class this was going to be her final year of teaching. And after it ended, she was going to celebrate by going on a month-long cruise in the Caribbean. She also said she was going to retire the year before, but her students were so bad that she couldn't go out after such a negative year. She was basically trying to have her Kobe tribute season and then sail off into the sunset, literally. But in reality, it was more like sailing into a volcano the way she went out. Because one day during class, we got on her final nerve. Now, students would always misbehave in her class because she was barely 5 feet tall and not intimidating at all. And because she would always say exactly how she felt, students would troll her all the time because they were just hoping to get a reaction out of her. I can't believe we were rage baiting the teacher. Now that I'm older, I'm embarrassed of how rude we were, but that was just the reality at the time. One time she even told us that her dog passed away, and the student literally responded by saying, Roro, don't bring the dog into this, man. By the way, rest in peace, Roxy. Fly high, my girl. So I'm telling you, we were an evil class. I don't even blame her for doing what she did to get fired. But on this particular day, it was even worse because this was the day after the Super Bowl, and she was a huge Bengals fan. But they happened to be one of the teams playing in the game. Now, unfortunately, they lost. So she was more angry than I've ever seen her this day. And I don't want to speculate anything, but by the way she was acting, I'm pretty sure she was hungover. So you could tell that if someone even sneezed the wrong way that day, she was going to crash out. But because of this, the students were even more motivated to rage bait her now. So the bell rings, class starts, and she tells us to get our notebooks out because we're going to be taking notes. Now, the first thing we did during class this day to make her mad was playing a game called Stick It. Let me explain it to you. So I had a friend in this class who was going through cancer treatments at the time. He's healthy and well now, praise God. But at the time, due to the treatments he was getting, he was bald. He looked pretty dope, I can't even lie. But he hated how people would always show him so much pity for having to go through this and for being bald. So to lighten the mood, he would bring these mini suction cups to school, and he would pass them out to people during class. And basically, the objective of the game was to try throwing these suction cups and landing them on his head. Listen. I know that may sound like an insanely out-of-pocket thing to do to someone who has cancer, and trust me, that's what I thought too. None of us wanted to play at first because we felt so guilty, but he insisted on it. So during class this day, whenever the teacher would turn around towards the board to read the notes, one of us would try throwing the suction cups and landing it on his head. But unfortunately, one person threw the suction cup at just the wrong time because right as he did it, the teacher turned around and caught us. She got super frustrated that we were playing this game rather than paying attention to the notes. So she yelled at the class. She said that if none of us wanted to pay attention to the notes during class, we could all stay after school and do it in detention. It was kind of funny though because as she was saying this, she would look back and forth between the kid who had cancer and the kid who threw the suction cup, and the kid with cancer would just be sitting there staring at her with a straight face while he had suction cups on his head. It looked like one of those aliens from Toy Story. So she finished her little rant, and we promised to stop so that she continued teaching. But it was the final nail that broke the camel's back. But I don't think that's how the phrase goes, actually. It was the final nail in the camel. No, that's not it. I broke a camel's back. No, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Hey Siri, what's the phrase that goes blah, 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 camel's back?
That's a great question. The phrase you're referring to goes like this.
Okay, well, point is, the teacher was fed up with us. As you can see, I'm not lying about the fact that I was not paying much attention in this class. It's probably why I have friends that are currently going to Ivy League schools. Meanwhile, I'm talking to a camera in my parents' closet making ditty jokes. I just know my parents wish they got a daughter instead. But after my teacher got done beeping with the cancer patient, she went back to presenting the notes. Class was normal for a couple minutes while she was doing this, until I got a text from my friend that said, "You won't throw me piece of gum right now," when she turned around. Now, although that sentence might sound like Patrick Starr wrote it, the reason he was saying it like that is because all my friends have a rule. No matter what the circumstances are, if one of us are dared to do something and we don't want to do it, you have to do it. If the other person says, "You won't," I don't remember how it started, but it's just our rule. So he clearly said this because he knew how flustered the teacher was, and he wanted to see if I would do it. And listen, I was still a young kid at the time. My frontal lobe hasn't fully developed yet. It still hasn't. It probably never will. So my brain is fried. But because of this, I was up for the challenge. Although we didn't sit close to each other at all in this class. He was literally on the other side of the room. So I knew I was going to have to throw an absolute dime to make it to him accurately. I'm talking like a LeBron James level pass. I love you, LeBron. But I had no other choice. I had to do it because he said, "You won't." So we make eye contact and I show him that I'm pulling out the gum. And we both kind of nod to each other like, it's go time. So I give the gum wrapper a kiss, hoping that it's going to go exactly where I want it to. And just like that scene in Talladega Nights where they're running to the finish line in slow motion, with all the power I have, I launched a piece of gum. It felt like I was looking at that thing in the air for 5 hours, but unfortunately, the millisecond that gum left my hand, I knew it wasn't going where I wanted it to. Matter of fact, it wasn't even close. So what? The gum didn't make it. It will just land on the floor and the teacher won't notice, right? Well, that would have been the case if it didn't hit her in the head. And I don't know what in The Exorcist happened after that, but she was somehow able to turn her head what felt like 270 degrees. And she did it super quickly right after it happened. This is how she looked. Obviously, all the students snitched on me right away because they saw that look in her eyes and they knew that I was probably about to be put on the back of a milk carton. So they didn't want any part of that. And I don't blame them. After she realized that I was the one who did it, I blinked and all of a sudden she was right at my desk. She then puts her hand down right in front of me, and you could tell she just wanted to grab my head and start bouncing it like a basketball. She was clenching her fists to the point where they were shaking. She was putting all her anger into it. But then, in a moment of clarity, after a few seconds, she stops. She was able to calm herself down, and instead of pulling a Will Smith at the Oscars on me, she walks back over to her desk without saying anything. Knowing I just narrowly escaped my demise, I exhaled thinking I'm safe. I thought she calmed down and realized that she shouldn't do anything crazy because it's not worth it. But as she's about to go back to teaching, she turns toward the whole class and decides that she does want to smoke today. She wasn't going to take any more disrespect from a kid who peed his pants in 10th grade. Not me. It just happened to be a kid who looked a lot like me. Anyways, she starts screaming at the class. She's pointing out students individually, basically saying why they all suck, including me. She got me good too, I can't even lie. She said it was amazing how much I taught during class without saying anything useful. She did her own, but she's going on this rant about everyone in this class. And not only is she saying how bad of students we are, but she's cursing like crazy while doing it. And without her knowing, one kid recorded this whole crash out. He went to the office and showed the video to the principal. So literally the next day, we walk into class and the principal is waiting there with the teacher. Once the bell rings, the teacher individually apologizes to all of us for everything she said. Clearly only because the principal made her do it. And then the principal tells us that we're going to have a substitute for the day. But this substitute just ended up being our normal teacher for the rest of the year. So I don't know if our regular teacher just ended up sailing into the sunset after this like she wanted. But the one thing I do know is that this could have all been avoided if the Bengals just won the dang Super Bowl. If you were being bullied to the point where you were scared to show up to school, how far would you go to make it stop? Because I did something I never thought I was capable of when I was in this situation. Let me break down what happened. I was in 4th grade, and this kid in my class would just not leave me alone. He was always roasting me about something, and I know you guys are going to be like, "Tyler, what do you mean? You're so amazing and beautiful. How could someone roast you?" Well, back in 4th grade, I was not the best looking person. I had crooked teeth. I didn't know how to talk to people. I was low-key kind of fat, too. There was a lot to pick on if you just looked at me. And I knew the exact reason why this guy in my class was being a bully, because we sat at the same table by coincidence. But there was also another person that sat with us. But this wasn't just another normal student. No, it was the girl that the kid who was bullying me had a crush on. So I guess to try and impress her, he would just pick on me all the time, hoping the girl would think it was funny. And I can't even lie. It was pretty funny a lot of the time. Because Because like I said, I had crooked teeth and I was pretty chubby when I was younger because my diet mostly consisted of Doritos and root beer. It low-key still kind of does. But unfortunately, there was no such thing as Ozempic for 9-year-olds at the time, so I was just stuck being fat. So I don't even blame him for all the times he would bully me. He was probably just scared that I was going to eat him because I was such a big bag. Now that I think about it, I'm a bigger bully to myself than he was. But anyways, at the time, I despised this man because not only was he making fun of me in front of the girl he liked, but he was doing it in front of the whole class and at times in front of the whole school. Like, I'm not joking when I say that he would do the most diabolical things to me just because he didn't like me. I remember one time, he literally sprayed fart spray on me right when school started, and there was nothing I could do about it, so I just had to walk around school all day smelling like a toilet after eating Taco Bell. What was his reasoning for doing this, you ask? I don't know, he was just a villain. And if you've ever smelled this fart spray before, it's awful. Imagine the worst smelling porta potty you've ever been in. That smells like flowers compared to this spray. He was clever, I'll give him that. I tip my cap to him. But he would do things like this to me all the time at school that made me so embarrassed. So eventually, I was fed up. I knew something needed to change. I knew something big needed to happen. Because I didn't deserve to get bullied like this just because bro was trying to impress the huzz. So one day, I decided to do something about it. You know what I did? I told the teacher that he was bullying me while I was crying, and she forced him to stop. And she told him that if he kept doing it, he would get suspended. But wait, hold on, Tyler. I thought this was going to be the part where you say you burned his house down like it says in the title. Well, this is where it gets crazy, because after the teacher told him to stop harassing me, he listened. She made us switch seats so he couldn't bully me during class anymore. And obviously he didn't want to get suspended, so he left me alone when we were outside of class too. Poor guy had to find a new way to make this girl like him. But after this happened, I didn't think about this guy for years. I thought that was just where our story would end because we went to different high schools and I just completely forgot about him and everything that happened until about 1 year ago when I was talking to one of my old friends that was in this same class I had the bully problem in. And we were talking about the fart spray scenario, so this made me think, what is this guy up to now? Because I was so curious. Like, was he putting fart spray in his college roommate's hair now or what? I really wanted to know because usually how it goes when you get bullied by someone is you look them up about 10 years later and they're living the most amazing life ever. They've got their girl, they're rich, their life is the dream. And they've also probably got a podcast about positivity and mental health. Kind of ironic. By the way, why does everyone have a podcast these days? Some of these clips I see of them are making me lose brain cells. Sorry, I just had to get that phone off real quick. When I looked up his name, I was fully expecting to see a picture of him in a penthouse somewhere in Miami because he's a crypto billionaire now, or something like that. But to my surprise, that could not have been further from reality because all I did was search his name on Google. And you know what the first thing that popped up was? A GoFundMe page. So I clicked on this GoFundMe to see where it led to, and this was when I found out that his house burned down. And he created the GoFundMe to ask for donations to repair it. I'm not smiling. And to those of you who have been watching my content for a while now, you may recall that when this originally happened, I made a video about it. But I never told the full story about what actually happened because it's 10 times crazier. So let me explain. First of all, to add some context for those of you who haven't seen the original video I'm talking about, when I first found the GoFundMe page, I made a video talking about it. But in this video, I looked a little too excited about his house burning down, to say the least. If you haven't seen it yet, here it is. I just Googled the name of a kid who used to bully me when I was 12 years old. First thing that pops up, a GoFundMe. His house burned down. I obviously feel so bad for him and his family. So as you can see, I didn't look too upset about this happening. But listen, it's very important that you believe me when I say that I only made this video because the odds of it happening were so insane. So I thought it would just be a funny scenario to share and nothing more. Genuinely, all I was trying to do was make a funny video about the situation. I honestly felt bad for him because it had been like 10 years since he bullied me. And we were both just dumb kids at the time, so I had no hard feelings about it. But unfortunately, you wouldn't be able to tell that based off the video. And if you're like, okay, Tyler, stop yapping. Tell me how this actually correlates to you saying you burned his house down. Well, a couple days after I made this video, I got a phone call. I didn't recognize the number at first, so I pressed decline, and I didn't think anything more of it until I got a phone call from the same number the next day. But like I said, I didn't know the number, so once again, I pressed decline. But then, I got a call from the same number for a third day in a row. And if it happens 2 times, who really cares, whatever. But if I get a call from a number 3 days in a row, I'm starting to think something is up. So this time, I answer the call. I pick up the phone, say hello, and the person on the other end responds with, "Hi, is this Tyler Vitelli?" I tell them yes it is, and they respond back to me saying, "Hi Tyler, this is Detective Romero with the, I don't want to say the city, but he was a part of the police department of the city I lived in." So when he said that, my heart started to beat a little faster, and I became real nervous because in my head, I was like, What could a detective with the police department of the city that I live in possibly want to do with me?
Don't have my name. Don't have my
And last time I checked, not touching grass is not a crime. I just physically gagged after saying that sentence. But anyways, I was pretty confident that there was nothing I could have done wrong that would warrant a call from a detective. So after he told me who he was, I asked why he was calling, and he said that there was an ongoing investigation. He was a detective on the case, and he wanted to ask me a couple questions about it. So I go, okay, what is the investigation about? Then he tells me a name I never thought I would hear again, and asked if I knew them, and I did. Who was this name that they asked about? My bully whose house burned down. So I'm still trying to connect all the dots here because the video I made a couple days ago just completely left my brain. Like I said, it's
Yeah.
just a funny 5-second
Yes,
video.
they got the name of it. No. Oh my god. Roger. No.
But I tell the detective, yeah,
What the heck?
this is like you just kind of know him. I would say you really know.
You're just dumb.
No.
Nothing in there.
حمار يا حمار يا حمار.
Because there's nothing in there.
Hey, bro. Come on.
No, I don't want to charge
okay.
it. You don't.
Come. No, bro. Team.
Supposed to go, but I was kind of getting the vibe that this guy just saw one too many episodes of Criminal Minds and was like, hey, I'm gonna be a detective. I was genuinely thinking this, and you may say that's stupid, but hey, that's how I chose my career when I was younger. All I had to do was watch.
Hey, bro.
And after I finished the whole series, I was like, yeah, that's it. I want to be a chemistry teacher. You thought I was gonna say the other job in the show, huh?
The hell?
That's not what I wanted to do. But regardless of how good or bad I thought this detective was at his job, I still knew there was no good reason for me to be getting a call from him. So I had to be on my best behavior. Instead of cooking him for trying to talk like a villainous cartoon character, I just asked him why he was calling me about this guy that I hadn't seen in years. And then he told me that he was the detective on the case involved with my bully's house burning down. And when he said this, I was thinking, oh yeah, now I get it. What a coincidence. I just made a video about this. But then I was like, wait, why would there need to be a detective?
No.
Yes, I am 22 years old and fine.
No, I will give you money. I will give you money.
What's wrong with me? But when I asked why there was a detective on this case, he told me it was believed that the fire didn't just start from natural causes. No, they had reason to believe it started from arson, meaning someone purposely burned his house down. This didn't really surprise me though, because this guy made a lot of villains. You know how bad he treated me. Just imagine how bad he treated other people. But when the detective said this, I knew exactly why I was getting a phone call now. And I was
الو يا ورع بمدازيز تعال.
I remembered I made a video about this situation a couple days ago, and I showed all you guys the video of me reacting.
احمد فك الباب يا احمد.
Let me ask you this question: did that look like the reaction?
احمد فك الباب يا احمد.
Sad about their bully's house burning down. You know what? Here, watch it again and tell me if I look guilty.
يا مسكين.
دور احمد انت هنا طلعت. والله ماني متعود يكون مكانك وانا اخوك.
شوف ترك راح تندم لو ما تستسلم. راح تندم.
راح تندم. افتح الباب شوف كيف اذبح. اقسم بالله. والله لا اذبحك والله. والله لا اذبحك بس افتح الباب. افتح الباب.
قل والله انك ما تطلق. فتحت الباب.
ما تبغاني اذبحك؟ ما تبغاني
لا
اذبحك؟
تذبح. لا تذبح.
بشرط. تعال تعال يا اخوي تعال يا جي ال 9 تعال.
I don't know. Can you hear them?
روح. No stop. وبن عاصم هذه كيف دخلت؟ Come on. No. Why?
salsa together.
Not too bad. Thanks.
I've seen it happen. So I knew my chances of getting him to understand the reasoning behind me making that video were practically zero. But anyways, I still tried to explain it, and after I did so, he didn't ask any more questions about the situation. The only thing he said after this was asking what city I was currently in. So I told him the city, which was the same one I lived in my whole life leading up to that, and was also the one where the bully lives. Well, lived, I guess. Sorry, not funny. Detective, I'm innocent. But he just asked me to stay close to the area for the next couple of days in case they needed to talk to me in person. So basically,
behind you.
he says that is, I'm a suspect now. So I do as they say and don't leave the city because I don't want to look guilty.
Oh, my friend's gone.
I barely leave my house anyway, so this was pretty easy. Regardless of if I lit that house on fire or not, I wasn't going anywhere. But these next couple of days were super nerve-wracking for me because I was innocent. It doesn't matter what I know. It just matters what they think. So I was waiting, freaking out the next couple of days, not being able to sleep. But the funny part about this time is I was so paranoid that the detective would try to follow me or just get more information on me. So I tried to look as innocent as possible that week because I reposted a story on my social media on our local fire department, and I put the goat emoji on, as if my stupid social media story was going to be the evidence that would make a jury think I was innocent. Oh, have you seen that video? I definitely did it. I mean, I thought so too. But did you see that story he posted with
Goodbye.
No guilty person would do that. That was ridiculous. But anyways, about
Bye.
and I didn't hear anything more about the situation. But I needed to get an update because I was still super anxious because I never got a call from the detective saying that I was free to leave my area now. So I called the number the detective gave me in case there was any information I needed to tell him. And he picked up the phone.
Can you stop it?
Information I had on the case, and he said there was. So with my hand shaking, I asked what that evidence was, and I just accepted that at any moment,
Bye-bye.
he was about to break down my door and bust me. But instead, he told me news that made it feel like Christmas, because he said a candle started the fire. But that's not all. Apparently the candle that started the fire was in the
I'm gonna sit down.
But guess whose bathroom it was? My bullies. Now, I'm not one for conspiracies, but I do have to say, it's after all those days he made me smell like a dirty toilet in school, it was his toilet that ultimately became the reason his house burned down.
Who's that? I wonder.
A few nights ago, I received the most disturbing phone
I'm
call.
gonna get it ready in
It may
case.
sound dramatic to you, but I promise it's not, because around 1 a.m. on last Thursday, my phone rang. I checked to see who's calling me this late in the night, and what does it say? No caller ID. So at first,
Huh.
I declined, assuming it's spam, and not thinking anything more of it. But about 10 seconds pass, and once again, I get a call. Who's it from? No caller ID, once again. So now I'm starting to get curious, because usually if it's a spam call, it won't come this late at night. And
Bye.
to immediately call you back.
Wait.
So this time, I decide to answer it, but immediately when I do, the person on the other side is screaming. But not only that, they're also threatening me. They're saying things like, I'm on my way to your house right now. I'm coming for you. I'm gonna touch you. No, they didn't say
No,
that.
wait.
Don't threaten you to get
Ah.
So although they're saying all these things, none of it is really scaring me because I'm just assuming they have the wrong number. But then they said one thing that changed my whole mood. What they say?
Wait, wait, I can still talk, but oh, can hear me. Wait. Oh, that sounds rank. Wait, people that can actually hear me?
But it's probably just one of your friends pranking you. That's why they called you using those. Or you might be thinking, Tyler, this is just one
That's wrong.
of girls that have a crush
Which one?
messing around because they like you. No, I know no one was thinking that. Don't worry. I'm just joking anyway. Last time I talked to a female my age was when I was
Rest in peace.
2 years ago. This wasn't the case. It was just one of my friends pranking
Ah.
me. Because after I realized the potential danger I was in, she showed me the phone number and pasted it into the phone app to see if I recognized it.
Ow,
I did it.
bro, it
But
scared
still,
me.
the next
Ah.
thing to think was that it was still someone prank calling me, but they were just using
Bro,
their friend's phone.
it's-
But that couldn't have been
it's
true
stupid.
either because when I pasted the phone number into the app, I looked up the area code the call was coming from, and that was when I saw it was from New York. Now, although I've been to New York a few times, I don't know anyone there that would do this. So the New York area code ruled out any possibility that this was a prank call from someone I knew. Now, listen, I don't know if any of you have been to New York, but for those of you,
Bomb.
let me tell you, the people who
Bro, I got bomb.
and this woman opened the doors, the wall was moving, flying through the tunnels, and she would just go from car to car, asking everyone for money. She was 5'0" and weighed about as much as the cinnamon stick from the Applejack cereal box. Yet somehow, she was able to open those doors like
Oh my god, drop my controller.
Don't worry about it, right? Yeah. Well, they do in New York. So after they threatened to come to my house and finish screaming at me, I kept trying to ask them questions. But anytime I wasn't saying anything, they would just start screaming over me again. So eventually, I told them I was just going to hang up if they kept interrupting me. And that was the one thing that finally got them to stop yapping. Once they calmed down a little bit, I asked them who they were. Their response to that was, "Oh, don't play stupid, Tyler. You know who I am." And I was like, "No, I really don't." That's why I asked the question. But after